August 1954. Tokyo's Haneda airport buzzed like any other humid summer morning. Businessmen waited for taxis, flight attendants hurried past customs, and then one man stepped off a plane and turned the ordinary into a mystery that 70 years later, no one has solved. They call him the Man From Taured. His flight had come from Europe, routine and unremarkable. The passenger looked like anyone else. Mid-40s, neat gray suit, briefcase, passport tucked under his arm. He walked to immigration, handed his papers to the officer, and waited. The officer flipped the passport open, then stopped. The country printed on the cover didn't exist. Taured. Dark blue booklet, gold letters, official seals. Everything looked real. The man spoke fluent French, a little Japanese, some Spanish. His accent sounded European, maybe French Andorran. Calm, polite, confident, like a seasoned traveler. When officials asked where Taured was, he pointed to a map. His finger landed on the border between France and Spain. There, he said, Taured. My country has been here for 1,000 years. But on every map, that area already had a name, Andorra. Security led him to a small room. His documents were examined, passport, driver's license, checkbook, even company papers, all stamped and printed in a language no one recognized. The passport showed he had traveled to Tokyo before, plus entries from Spain, Germany, and Argentina. The stamps looked legitimate, ink, design, date, but no such country had ever issued them. Customs called the embassy of Andorra. They'd never heard of Taured either. When asked his purpose in Japan, the man explained he was visiting a Tokyo-based trading firm he'd worked with for years. Officials called the company. The company existed, but they'd never heard his name. They phoned the hotel where he said he had a reservation. The hotel confirmed a booking under the same name. Yet the confirmation letter the man carried used an address that didn't exist in Tokyo. It was as if his entire life was built from fragments of reality that almost fit, but didn't. By evening, authorities still didn't know what to do. He had broken no law, committed no crime. He had simply come from nowhere. For safety, they placed him in a nearby hotel under guard. 2 immigration officers stood outside his door through the night. They collected his belongings, kept his passport. The man seemed calm, even joked that Japan must have changed its maps recently. He ordered dinner, smoked a cigarette, and wished the guards good night. Morning came. The guards knocked. No answer. They unlocked the door. The room was empty. No sign of a struggle, no open window. His room was on the 7th floor. His clothes, his briefcase, his passport, gone. He had vanished from a locked room inside a guarded hotel. Police searched the building. Every hallway, every service door. Airport records were rechecked. No one matching his description left the country. His name was erased from the hotel register within days. Witnesses were told to keep quiet. For decades, the story existed only in scattered reports. A few Japanese police files, a paragraph in a customs training manual, later retold in magazines under the headline, "The Man From Nowhere." But as the story spread, so did the theories. Some believe it was a forgery or intelligence-based false identity. Taured, they say, could be a misspelling of Tuareg, referring to North African tribes. Yet forgery experts later noted the passport's texture and binding didn't match any known fake from that era, and no criminal file anywhere in Europe listed a suspect fitting his description. Others believe it was a case of psychological dislocation or memory fracture, but psychiatrists who viewed the case notes said there were no signs of confusion. He recalled routes, currencies, flight times, and customs forms with unnerving precision. And then comes the theory that turned a police file into legend. What if he truly came from a parallel version of our world? A tiny shift between realities, an accidental traveler from a map that wasn't ours. Science fiction, maybe. But every document, every stamp, every signature matched our world's materials, except the names. It was as if someone photocopied reality, changed a few words, and printed him into it. I keep wondering what he felt sitting in that hotel room, realizing no one on Earth recognized his home. Imagine explaining your family, your city, your language, only to hear it doesn't exist. Did he panic? Did he cry? Or did he stare out at Tokyo's lights, realizing he could never go back? Because this story isn't about borders, it's about identity and how fragile it really is. In 1960, writer Keiichi Ueda mentioned the case in a magazine on strange phenomena. Western journalists later added details from other airport incidents. Versions shifted, dates changed, airport names altered, until historians couldn't separate fact from contamination. Yet the story endured, because it felt possible. If he truly came from another Earth, then somewhere, in another Tokyo, a police file exists about a missing businessman from our world. Maybe they call him the Man from Japan. Officially, the case is unsolved. Unofficially, it's eternal. A reminder that reality isn't as fixed as we believe. And every border, even the one between truth and imagination, begins with a single stamp.